Yeah, it's fantastic to see you. Where are you in the world right now?
In La Palma, in Canarias, Canary Island.
In the Canary Islands?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
And
awesome.
Tutu, she's here with me, Maria Tutu.
Yes, I did. I spoke with Maria.
Uh,
Yes, yes, that was
no,
fantastic.
she's here visiting me. We're having a treat together. It's very nice.
You guys are together right now?
Yes.
Oh, so nice.
Yes, yes,
So nice to have
very nice.
a close friend like that, that of the same lifestyle, right?
Yeah,
It's
I didn't know her, she just brought me, she want to come and I say sure. And yeah, it's a nice integration, to talk the same language with somebody, that you don't need to
oh,
explain, that she get you right away. It's very nice.
yes, right. You know, the comfortability, you don't have to explain anything. You don't have to be
Yeah,
judged by anyone. You don't have to have anyone telling you that you are wrong or that's not right or there's,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, oh geez, it's yeah, I mean it's a constant, it's like we're in a constant battle all the time with
Yeah, yeah.
society, right?
I like your face now. It's more like, more. I like it. You're less round. You're more in your physique.
Oh, nice. You can see that?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow, good. So I guess my body has detoxified some since the last time I saw you.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because it's been maybe 6 months or something,
Yeah, probably. I'm not keeping track of time, but I
something
think
like
so.
this since we've spoken.
Yes, yes.
Maybe more,
Because
maybe 8 months.
it was when it was started, the last retreat. When was it? Well, I don't know. I don't mind to remember.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, right?
Okay.
But it's wonderful to reconnect with you. You've been running Breatharian retreats. Sabrina, it's Sabrina Chan,
Sub Chan. I like to
Sab
short
Chan,
my name Sub.
the Melon Man here today. Okay, back in communication with my good friend from the Canary Islands, Sab Chan. And Sab is much more experienced in the breatharian lifestyle than I am. So she is a mentor of mine, someone that inspires me, a friend that motivates me and helps me to continue to move forward. It's hard to find people in this lifestyle. There's not so many of us. There's not so many breatharians in the world. It's a minuscule population of people that have realized and recognized the untruths that we have been told, and we have devoted ourselves and our lives to coming back to the truth and realizing that there is a power that is within us and that we can express this power. And when we actually step into this power, we are most happily ourselves and able to heal and overcome any pain and reduce any body fat and overcome any challenges and break any addictions and fix any relationships that we want to in our lives. And we are excited and motivated to help people and share this information with others. And Sab is further along on this journey, and I'm blessed to have her as a friend, and I'm grateful to be sharing this time with her today. So thank you for spending the time with us, Sab, and let's just chit chat a little bit, about what you've been doing for the last year. Maybe share with everyone a little bit about where you came from, and what awakened you to this possibility of a food-free life. I call it unfooding, right? I
Mhm.
say it's what naturally happens as we start to be conscious about raw food and fruit life and fasting. It's what kind of happens but let's hear what you have to say about how you got into this and what's happened to you and what you've been doing for the last year. Please share, Sab.
Okay. Thank you, John, for your work. I always like to put you in contact with people that spread this message about Pranic lifestyle, right? That is about health mostly, but I would like to try to don't talk so much about food.
Okay.
Because yes, I was like thinking, let's focus our energy to something else, like energy.
Energy.
Anyway,
Yeah.
a little bit about my story to make it short. I always been a fanatic about health, so actually I was, that helped a lot, I guess, to find this pranic way of living, right? Because I was researching for answer, for understanding, how we work, how nature work. I always, been a very good observer, and when I start to know about pranic lifestyle, the first things was, of course, to stop eating. It was about time, morning, freedom. For me was freedom, to stop eating. I didn't thought about nothing else than stop eating. And I was obsessed, obsessed to stop eating. That was really the new obsession. Before it was eating healthy, and then it was stop eating. And yes, I just really could able to do that when I love the point where I was, that I was still not ready to be without food. I still have, curiosity, and still want to try a lot of food that before I didn't allow myself to eat because I thought they were unhealthy. But I don't want to sound confusing, because it's important to be clean, to understand that if you are not clean enough and you go for unhealthy food, then you will not find a limit, But if you are clean enough and you want to have, something that is not healthy, it's okay. Your body will deal with it. Your body deals with a lot of shit every day that is not food, and it's fine, because we are energy. We are material body, imperfect but infinite. So don't strike for perfection. Just focus on your infinite possibility and do what you like. It can be to be without food, it can be with food, but just understand that food is just a passion. It can be still present, it cannot, depend where you want to reach in life, how you want to feel, which dimension, which how much you want your sense to be refined, how much you want to be present. Because more you're clear, more you're empty, more you're present, more it's easy, But you can do it also having an hamburger. It's okay.
So yeah, you're saying, I mean, if you want to be an eater, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a free choice. We're not saying that people shouldn't eat or people can't eat, or all we're saying is it's a choice that you can choose to live with food, or you can choose to live without food, or you can choose to live with less food, right? And it's presence, and it's when we take away the food that we just gain greater presence and awareness of our more subtle energies that are within us. And when we have greater awareness of those subtle energies, we have a better shot at creating what we truly want in our life rather than
Yes.
unconsciously creating our life, which is what most people are doing.
Yeah, it's like, they're scared to leave food because they don't feel, the power to be without food. So it's no point to even talk and discuss this. You need to experience it. And then you don't want to have food, but not that you are forcing yourself to don't have food. You reach a state and a present that you don't want. You are curious to see what is the next step. How much I can unfold in this new dimension. It's very beautiful.
So you would say then that most people are like afraid to consider this possibility because they aren't aware of their internal power.
Yeah, they didn't test it. They didn't go there. They didn't have the possibility because we're clogged with toxin. We shut down our senses, and we even don't know. But once you test it, that's all. Down road. It's effortless. But if you start, just dealing with your mind and imposing yourself, that's not how it works. You need to treat yourself like a child. You need to listen to you. You need to explain to yourself and like have a self-talking. Say it's okay. It's okay. You want that now. How you will feel. Just play with it But of course, a little bit of discipline in the beginning is necessary if you are really serious and you already develop the consciousness that you don't need food, because that's very important. Because if you still think you need food, then we're out of the game. We cannot talk about even try. This is not possible.
So then we have to have a relationship with ourselves.
Yes.
Right? We have to speak to ourselves in order to begin a relationship with ourselves. So we don't actually know about the true identity. We don't really know about the true self. This is the problem, is that we're caught up in kind of this false identification. I believe I describe it as an identification with the ego self, or with the subconscious programming, the part of the self that we've just, that goes to work every day, that's involved in a marriage perhaps, or maybe that is a parent or a sister or a brother or a sibling or a daughter. This is kind of the role that we are. And we've all identified with our roles, but very, very, very few of us have identified with this internal energy. Some people like to call it Christ consciousness. Some people like to call it consciousness. Some people like to call it the collective unconscious. Some people like to call it prana. Some people like to call it chi. Some people like to call it spirit. Some people like to call it the Holy Spirit. Some people want to call it God, right? Some people want to call it the giant. Tony Robbins. Oneness, that the part of us that's a part of everyone else. The unity consciousness, right?
Yeah.
This space where we can all reach to, a similar space. And what we're talking about with, you call the pranic lifestyle, we're talking about getting into that pranic energy, stepping into that alternate energy field that exists within all of us. And if we access that energy and feel that energy and realize that energy, then we realize that we don't need as much food or material things as we thought we did. And there's a bit of a joy that we gain from that when we realize, hey, wait a second, I might be free from this food or this coffee or this alcohol or this material thing or this relationship. I may be able to find happiness and joy within the self. And that's a freedom, that's a liberation that we get from that, isn't it?
Yes. I always, when I lead meditation, said the freedom of being nurturing by prana, it's very beautiful. Joy is the right word. But I just want to say what you said, like about the ego. A lot of people say the ego is a bad guy. I think ego should integrate because it's okay. It's maybe the whining part of us, but it's a part of us. We cannot kill it. We cannot take it away. We just need to listen it once in a while. You listen to a whining child, him, and then it's over. It's just a present. Because you don't get a superhero, super hero, how you say, like a Superman,
right?
Because you get in the pranic field, reality is always up and down, and if it's not, we're dead. It's a straight line, and it's not make us that everything is gonna be nice and smoothly. So we'll have bad days. We will have. That's okay. It's okay. It's like now is here with me, Maria Tutu, and just today she said, it's we notice that it's not what is happening, but how we react to things, right? And being the pranic lifestyle make you react in a more present way. So not based on your past experience, not based in a very broken way. You just step back, stay with your feeling, and then it's okay. So these things that people are afraid that they will ban GT, or many people complain they will ban GT after. I think it's just a story they like to tell themselves. They just want to eat again. It's okay. They want to eat, they will eat. But it's not, it's not because it's a consequence of being fasting too much, or I don't know, But that's my experience.
We don't need to eat. It's really that we want to eat. It's a habit. It's a behavior. We can.
In the end, we're talking about food, John.
Right. You want to stick with the energy. You want to stick with talking about the energy. But
it was a trick. Like don't think about the pink elephant, and everybody think about the pink.
Don't think about the pink elephant in the room. But you talked about the ego, and you brought something up. The ego is not a bad guy, right? The ego is not a bad guy. You said, and I agree with you. The ego is not a bad guy. But what the ego is it's a program. It's a series of a lot of programs that are going on automatic pilot. And as the ego is, creating on automatic pilot, a lot of the times it's creating things in our life that we don't really want, or creating parts of our life that we're not really happy about. And, we think we have no control over these things. We think that they are just a part of our life. And this isn't true. The truth is that we can reprogram the subconscious, we can reprogram the ego, and we can create something alternative for ourselves. And we can do that with that energy, that pranic energy that is within us. We can do that. But we have to choose to want to do that, and we need to spend the time to reprogram that ego. He's not a bad guy. She's not a bad guy or bad person, but she's programmed in such a way that she may or may not be creating exactly what we want. Now, do you want to create exactly what you want? It's a choice.
Our ego, education. Like you educate a child, What are you feeding your ego with? Because it's always a choice, like you said. Even if when you don't choose, you are making a So it's in your hand. The power is in your hand.
So if you don't choose to reprogram your ego will just continue to
Yeah.
as it is. So that's unconsciously creating. Your life is unconsciously being created by your ego.
Yeah.
And if you consciously step in and say, no, I want to change this program. I don't want to think about this any longer. I want to think about what I want. So rather than thinking about this circumstance or this situation in my life and getting upset about it or getting down about it, I can think about what I wish to create here and I can manifest it, or I can just be in it. You talked about being present, just sitting with the feelings and accepting the feelings. So, hey, I've got this.
And that's a meditation, meditation all the time, just, and, having this empty, silent space. That doesn't mean, that you need to be in a silent room with crossed legs. It means just to be inward, to be with yourself, to don't just, react, and be unconscious, be conscious.
Right. So that's it. Most people are just reacting to the circumstances that are coming toward them.
Yeah.
And the Breatharian is working on being mindful and being present with the circumstance that's going on. So rather than reacting to the circumstance, we are acting from within. So we're grabbing hold of the energy inside of us. So we're grabbing onto joy and happiness inside rather than going, hey, this isn't a nice day for me. It isn't sunny enough for me. I'm not happy about the circumstance that's going on with my relationship right now, but my joy is actually in me. So I'm grasping the energy within rather than reacting to the circumstance that is without.
We can always find infinite way or thing to complain about it. We are very good in that. Super good. Super, super good.
Yes, there's always problems in the life. And the Breatharian lifestyle doesn't mean you're free of problems. It doesn't mean it's perfect.
You live them differently. You live them in a different way. But they are there. It's okay. And of course, you can create conditions that, make this problem less and less, for sure, but you never know, I have 4 kids, I don't know, and they're still young. I don't know what is expecting me, in the future, but I'm very, open my arms to this because, it's life. And
you're optimistic about the future, right? We don't know. It doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that problems don't arise in the life. It doesn't mean that we're not working on the problems in our life. We're just, rather than working at them in a complaining way or working at them in a negative energy type of way, we're working through whatever is going on with optimism and joy because we know what we are creating, right?
And this ambition of perfection is really, very, I don't know how to say, was really put inside us, since we're little, we need to be perfect, we need to do everything right, and what is right for my family is probably right, not right for yours, who holding the picture of right, it's just really an illusion. It's an illusion, and it keeps us unsatisfied because we are, instead of see, like I said, infinite possibility that we can unfold, infinite. It can be, somebody washing the dishes and be super happy with that. It can be somebody more ambitious and do something else, but still, anybody is imperfect and infinite, and we need to be fine with that, because otherwise we will be unhappy always, even in the Pranic lifestyle. If you are seeking for perfection, then I'm sorry. Sorry for you. Anyway, I don't know how much time we had, but I want to tell you that it's a good news today, so I want to share it since we are having this interview.
Awesome.
We decided, me and Maria, to be available here because, okay, she's gonna be here with me and be available to people that want to visit us and taste, this lifestyle with us. So we're open all year round, 24 hours. It's like it's so funny. I want to say it. I think it's beautiful. I like that because I really dedicate in this. I feel very, very joy and pleasure to serve this message. Because I really believe in it, and of course because before to my belong one, to close one. I want have a good life, a good health, and this example, more people talking, more people doing it is more possible. It's getting more real, more real, not just words.
Yes,
So
right. More people are getting involved in this lifestyle. More people are beginning to accept this lifestyle. More people are beginning to become aware that that you can live on less and you can find joy and happiness on less. And so you and Maria are operating together in the Canary Islands now, and you're running a coaching program there where people can come and they can talk to you online. They can talk to you face to face. They can come and visit. They can come and stay with you, and they can learn how to heal their bodies. They can learn how to lose weight. They can learn how to be fit. They can learn how to be happy. They can learn how to be healthy, and they can learn how to overcome disease.
In one word, how to be present.
They can learn how to be present. They can learn how to be in the moment, in the now, because in the moment, in the now is where our power is.
Yes.
Everyone is so busy.
Sorry.
Everyone
there was a guy.
A
guy now in the retreat that is a little bit worried when he's going back, to his normal life, to lose this. And when you attach to that, is a possibility to lose it. But you taste something, you always know how did you get there, how you can get there again. And in case it's okay, it's okay to make mistake, even over and over again. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we live, right?
So I mean, in the unfooding process, we're gonna fall back, and when we get into our regular day-to-day life, I guess you're saying someone has come and spent some time with you. And now they're going to be going back home, and they're afraid that they're going to get caught up with the lifestyle of eating and material things like everybody else does. And that's a part of the lifestyle, is, slowly walking away from it. But we can't just flip a switch and go from.
There is not a protocol. There is people that they can switch like this if they are very motivated, they are very focused and oriented. They can do it. There is not really one way. We're so unique. We are all one, but we are so unique. You cannot tell. But if you really taste, what does it mean to be, in yourself with an empty belly? You want to feel that. You want to experience that over and over again. There is nothing else that will take you back. At least not for a long time. You want to be in that state. You cannot lose it, because if you really like it and taste it, you want it. You know what I mean? You don't want to, like also Ellington always say, I already experienced what is life eating. I want to experience something else. I want to see how far I can go with my potential, right?
Yes. But this is it, is that people are too afraid to go into emptiness, right? And actually experience it, because we're kind of told that emptiness is bad, and you shouldn't be empty, and you know, oh, you're hungry, you're missing out on something, you're not getting your nutrients, you're not getting your vitamins, you're not getting your proteins. So your body's unhealthy if you're empty. And
we feel secure, you know, when we collect things, when we have, you know, storage food, when we have, you know, all this false security that in the end, you know, it can be taken away in a moment. So what you really can count is on yourself and on your potential.
And there is an infinite potential there.
Yes.
Food is such a limited potential. All of the physical things are just a limited potential. Your wife can walk out on you. Your husband can cheat on you. Your job can collapse. Your money can evaporate. You know, so you can get sick. You can get illness. Things can change like this. If you haven't learned how to grab onto the infinite space within you, that is always healthy, that is always safe, that is always secure. If you can't learn how to grasp that, then when things change in your life, you can't manage.
Cut up and worry about this. I call it 5% of, you know, our potential. That is our life, you know, our duty, our things to do today. And we forget about we have this 95% that we even don't know what it's about. You know, we just saw, you know, everything is looks so important for you today. If it will be taken away, you will see what is really important for you. That is not what is worth taken away, you know.
And life does that, doesn't it? It actually, it gives us things to give us the kind of a false security, and we depend on those things, and then it takes it away, and then we see, oh my gosh, that was my joy and happiness. Now I feel like I've had a trauma. I've lost the love. I've lost my health. I've lost my job. I've lost something, and then I'm, you know, upset. And life does this again and again and again to try and wake us up to realize that, hey, I'm not supposed to be grabbing onto my job or my relationship or my house. I'm supposed to be grabbing onto the power that is within me and creating whatever I want.
Of course, we have a role that we choose in life. You know, I choose to be a mom, and I will never get out of this role. You know, I choose it, and I'm very, you know, very honoring this, you know, and I do my best in that. It's not because sometimes I think my really aspiration will be, you know, to just completely dedicate to this lifestyle. But for now, for me, it's you know, half, and it's okay, you know, because I decide to live, you know, here in Canary Island. I decide to buy this land. I decide to make my kids. So it's something that we should take responsibility. It's not that we disconnect, that we are just gonna meditate all day and focus on ourselves. That's okay. That's not okay. I mean, we need to do hand by hand, you know, to integrate these two things, because we don't need to isolate ourselves either, you know. It's
yes, and you know what? As a single parent, that's a lot of work to be juggling two sides, because obviously you have the role of being parent, and then you've got this role of being breatharian coach, which you know, two different roles, right? Fortunately for me, I have a partner who accepts that I am pursuing this lifestyle, and supports me a ton, you know, because she does do more of the house responsibilities. Thank goodness, God bless my wife, and I'm doing more of the coaching responsibilities, which allows me to go deeper into the role. And let go of some of my parenting responsibilities, and she stepped into that role a little bit more, and I'm so grateful for that. Our partnership allows that, and And that's wonderful. And you know what? Lots of different ways. Some breatharian partners come together and that works. And some people of opposite energies come together. And then some people, you know, it's not always easy to be in a partnership when one is a breatharian striving and the other one is not really going in that direction, or not nearly as passionately. So that can create a lot of challenge as well too. So it's challenging by yourself, it's challenging with a partner that supports you, and it's challenging with a partner that's the same, because now the both of you are in this and no one is stepping out into the real world or the physical world. So I mean, all aspects are challenging.
But right? I think for me is I have more freedom now, actually, because separating, the father is taking also his part of the job. Before I was doing everything, so for me
nice. So that gives you time. Maybe he takes the kids for a while, and that gives you some more free time, right? So for me, I'm kind of jumping in between all the time. Yeah.
You with the phone, ready to go.
So the way that I do it is you know, kind of a Monday to Friday or a Monday to Wednesday, take a little break, pop my head back into the family, and then back into the pranic life full tilt again, so that I can separate myself a little bit and be you know, more committed to the meditation and staying inside the role, and then, you know, coming out sometime to try to be a little bit more of the dad and the husband. So a bit of back and forth, right?
Yeah, that's how you want to see it, right? You need to have a like frame and plans, you know. Me, I really spontaneous, you know. I just and I like that also in Marietta too, to see her, how spontaneous she is. Son, she's here with her son, and wow, I feel like behind the word that we can understand, because we are so similar in the way we are, you know, being a mother. And actually tomorrow we have a lecture in here in the capital area, so we are going to talk about Pranic mother. I'm very excited about that.
So you know, how many kids do you have?
I have 4.
How old are you? I'm
going to give you this number. 40. 440. Yes.
How old are they?
Allora, the biggest is 14. Wow, the 4 is and there is a boy 12, another girl of 11, and she's 7.
Right. I have 16-year-old daughter, 15-year-old daughter, and 8-year-old son.
Okay, 3.
Yes. Yes, and that is a challenge. That is a challenge, right? I mean, the daughters are more not really pro dad so much right now. I think they're at those kind of teenage years where they are more comfortable with their mother, and I'm optimistic that
yes.
I'm optimistic that
how they see you, you know, like they pass once in a while with you, or they're interested or in your message, or
not very much. I think right now they're at an age where you know, conformity is kind of the biggest thing. To fit in is the biggest thing at 15 and 16, you know?
Yeah.
And to be kind of the black sheep or the different one is not really in style when you're 15 and 16. And so I feel that they kind of maybe view dad as a bit of a radical maybe, and they don't really want to associate too much with things that are too radical, right? So that makes it, you know, that relationship is challenged. And so I just try my best I just try my best to accept and love, because I mean, when I was 15 and 16, there was no talk about not eating. There was no talk about not eating pasta or rice or bread, or if I wanted to eat a bag of chips or if I wanted to have pizza. I mean, it was just, I enjoyed and I
But
indulged in.
it's again about the education, more than say them to don't eat about it, but to inform them the consequence, and to spread your knowledge. Because like I write you, remember I was in Italy now. Okay, she's 14, but so she's not really into teenager yet. She's starting, she's going there, but yeah, she's also she wants to fit with the others. So she told me, "You're the most different mother I never know."
Yeah.
But in a good way, not in a bad way. But like she finds the chance when she meets me, like to fast, and I was so, because usually I was the one. This time she suggested, and I was, my heart like expand, like fly, like I was very happy, because instead of maybe said let's go to have ice cream, or she said, Mom, I use the opportunity you are here, let's fast together. I was very
That's so cool. That's so cool. But I think too, at this age, 14, 15, 16, I think that the female relationship is very important. And I think so very, very, connected to the mother. I think when girls 14, 15, 16. And
actually, I'm a little bit jealous. She's really in love with her father,
Oh,
but
nice.
there is some things that she just tell me, but that's female stuff. You're right.
Some female connection there, right?
Yeah.
And then also, so then if they get that female connection with mom, and then if mom is not as on side with kind of the things that dad's doing, then the things that dad's doing seem even more outrageous, because mom's not on side with that, right? So that also creates, a little bit more challenge in the relationship dynamic. So, but I accept it, and I realize it, and I understand it, and I've gotten over the initial, trying to control it or trying to change it, and I'm trying to love it now, and I'm trying to, grow it and repair it and heal it and be patient with it, and not be pushy, for sure, because
the good word that you said, acceptance, accept
it, right? Accept it. And that's been a hard thing. It's been a hard thing. And there's been some challenge, and I've been through it, and the worst is behind me, and it's improving. But I'm optimistic that the future will be more, because I also see that as I continue with my commitment, and because I think also my commitment to this maybe even was a bit scary for my wife and for our relationship, and so that fear can be felt by the kids as well too, right? So as my wife realizes that the changes that have been going on in me have nothing to do with our relationship in my mind, or anything that's wrong with her, or it's not about her, it's just about me going through a change, and I am actually more committed than ever to my relationship and to my family, and grateful for my family and for my relationship. So I'm more clear on that, and I'm more focused on what I want to create there. So I think as my wife settles and sees that I'm actually becoming a better partner.
I don't know you well, but from your character, the impression I have of your character, maybe I'm out of the road, but I'm gonna say it, and also see your, your passion you put when you are a bodybuilder, that you get a little bit too fanatic, and maybe you scare a little bit people close by. You should be more moderate, because moderation in the beginning is low, but it will pay off in the long run, It really pay off.
Yes, to be more gentle with myself and my life, right?
Yeah, and the people around you, you decide to stay with them, and you should also accept them, not only them accepting you, So yes.
So
And
yes,
also,
I have to accept them. I have to accept them where they're at, and not try to change them, not try to push them, but just love them, be with them.
And even if you need to step a little bit backward, because when I was in Italy, the grandparents of my daughter always were so judgmental on me, because I was also too radical, and to show to them that I'm more getting close to them on their lifestyle, they get more interested in my lifestyle. You understand?
Yes, I've learned that as well too. By me accepting them and loving them where they are realizing that I'm growing inside of this lifestyle and becoming better, a better person because of it. So that inspires them to want to understand more. So I'm just purely optimistic about what, going forward in this and how that's going to shake out in my life, right?
Yeah. I was because I got offended because I didn't want to eat, and of course, Italian cultures, food, and it's very disrespectful to say no. So I say, okay, I will eat once a day, and they say, really, you can just eat once a day? And in my mind, I say, I can eat even less than once a day, but I just, they know, but I didn't want to be, give any sermons. So I say, yeah. And when I left, they want to try to cut one meal off of the day. And I was feeling very blessed, because it's a lot. And they will not have, maybe send them this message if I was, no. And it was a little price to pay for me, because I felt very, it was too much, very tired, a lot of sleeping, but I'm very happy of what I felt, it's okay. And, like we said before, present and accepting go by hand, When you're present, you accept. And when you accept, you're present. So that's the best things you can do at each moment. It's just this.
So sometimes, it's the best thing to do is actually to eat, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's to eat. You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
All your life.
You're gonna be a little more sleepy. You're gonna be a little more sleepy.
Yeah, yes.
Just sleep a little bit more. Take a little break. Have Christmas. Have Easter. Have the birthday party.
I love to sleep, but before I was a hyperactive person, I always need to do. Sleep is not important. Sleep is nonsense. Sleep is, you don't do nothing. You're not productive. And now, I love to sleep. I love it. I like it very much. So
I was a terrible sleeper. I was an insomniac for 20 years, and now I'm just so much better sleeper. And I'm not perfect with my sleep, but sometimes, when you're dry fasting, I find actually when I'm dry fasting more that I do find that that really cuts my sleep and that wakes me up. But when I meditate while I'm dry fasting, that the meditation is so deep that it's as if you're sleeping. So, it's very satisfying. It's very clarifying. It's very inspiring. So it's even if I am up sometimes still, I'm not angry or upset or exhausted the next day.
Yes. You recharge better even with less, right?
Yes, recharge
Like
the batteries with less. When you're not eating, you need less sleep, right?
you have powerful rechargers. Go faster.
I want to
Yes.
talk about a couple things that you mentioned earlier. You talked about
Okay.
clean enough, not being clean enough.
Uh-huh.
If you're not clean enough, then you cannot recognize some things. Can you explain a little bit
You
more
know,
about that?
I mean, you cannot listen to yourself, so you don't put limits. No, you don't put limits. Like I want to tell you, since we talk about sleeping before, I thought, it's healthy to go to sleep early and wake up early. Now I don't impose to myself this. If I want to be awake all night and sleep in the morning, and of course if I have the possibility to do it, I will do it. But if you are not connected with yourself and you are in detox, you need to be really attent about this, because otherwise you go, it's not good. Every night you are awake, that's not healthy. We cannot fake this. You can understand when a message is true, and when a message is a story that you tell to yourself, because you want to keep me awake all night because you like it, but it's not good. But if you do it because you feel you are awake and you don't want to sleep, it's not that you have to go to bed, right? And the same is with food. I told you maybe you have still some passion about some food that are not healthy, and you can have it. It's not that that was a very scary thing for me in the beginning, that I never was able to leave food alone, because I say, today is the last day I can test this, and I will never test it again. And so this always keep me, to make the real jump. And then when I say I can have the food I want when I want, nobody's telling me to don't eat.
I think that's a
I
big
don't
one.
want.
I think that's a
Yeah.
very big one, is that it's not about not eating, it's about having the power of choice, that you don't need to eat, but you can choose to eat, whereas everyone else has to eat 3 meals and 2 snacks, or they have to have lunch at this time, and they have to have breakfast at this time, and they have to have dinner at this time, and they can't have fun unless they do this, or they can't have energy unless they do that. So those people are actually not free. They are trapped in the food trap. They need to have the food, whereas we can be free of food if we choose, or we can indulge in food if we choose. It's food freedom. It's food freedom. That's what the lifestyle is about. It's about gaining more control and management of your food, because you're getting more energy from the infinite source within, right?
And I'm gonna tell you this one also. I like to keep myself a little bit dirty, because it keeps me grounded. I know my inspiration where they are, but like I said, I choose this role and I need to be grounded. And if I go too much, in drive fast and completely, I just lost the congestion of reality. Of I start to think that nothing makes sense anymore. Like what I have to do when I wake up. It's why I'm doing this. So I need to be.
Yes. In the dry fast, we can go so far into the spirit energy, so far into the pranic energy, that we can almost lose touch with the rest of the population, or the people that are around us.
And it's beautiful if you are in a stage of life that you can do it and you want to experience it. It's wonderful. Just
go ahead. I can't wait till you have that freedom in life to do that.
Yeah. But it's just around the corner. It's there, right?
Yes.
How
old are you, Sab?
I told you, 40.
40. Okay. Right.
What do you think?
You look great. 30, 31, 29 maybe.
Look my skin.
Looks good. Looks good. Clean enough, not clean enough. You talked a little bit about it. I just wanted to add, like, that's the thing is that, you know, once the toxicity has been removed from the body, then the body is clean enough, then we can feel that subtle energy within, right?
Yeah.
And
Sorry, we can also repeat, we already said it, that slow or fast depend on your character, on your temperament. You know, you can go faster, you can go slowly. It depends. I'm a faster, you know, I need to do things fast because that's how I am. That's how I deal with things in life. But, you know, other people do slow and it's okay. You know, do what is better suited with you, and that requires little willpower, because willpower lasts for a while, but in the long time you get tired, you know.
it
Willpower,
does. It does. So if
it's
you
good.
need,
It's good for a kick, but you cannot count on the willpower too long, you know.
it's true. It's true. So
Yeah.
so if you want to eat 2 meals a day, if that's what you need, have 2 meals a day. If you need to have 3 meals a day, and maybe 2 of them are raw and 1 of them is cooked, if that's what you need to do, you know, find the level that you can sustain long haul, because it needs to be something that's sustainable.
Still improvement, you know,
It's still better, right? I'm not eating 3 cooked meals a day. I'm not eating animal protein at every single meal. I'm only eating it at dinner time, or, you know, it depends what level. I tell people that I teach 7 different levels of participation, so people can be, maybe they just need to stop eating out at the restaurant. Maybe they just need to stop eating the bags of chips and pop during the week. You know, maybe you need to cut down on the animal protein, take it to one meal a day. Maybe you need to go to the vegan lifestyle. Maybe you need to move to the raw food lifestyle. Maybe you're ready to go to fruitarian. Maybe you're ready to try liquid, right? What level are you at? We move you forward incrementally, and sometimes you shift forward for a little, and sometimes you shift back, and sometimes.
And the key word here is pleasure. Pleasure.
What is your pleasure?
The pleasure motivating you, you know. Pleasure.
What is your choice? What is your pleasure? How would you?
Because I noticed that I've been driving from the texture of food lately, not from the taste. I'm really a fanatic of the texture. So what is it? It's liquid, it's solid. What do you prefer? What give you pleasure? Because if it give you pleasure, it will keep motivating you, right? Because you have pleasure in the moment, and then the pleasure afterward, but because you feel better, right? So that's a win-win. No,
it's all about choice. It's all about choice, right? Isn't it all about choice?
See. And what is bring you more pleasure in the moment? But, you know, be careful to don't be caught in the story, you know. Yeah. In
the story that you tell yourself, or
yes,
in your past story, in the lifestyle story that you've been telling. This is who you are. This is what you are. This is what has happened to you. Those are things that have happened to you, right?
Yeah, there is a beautiful thing that Maria Tutu shared yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday after a meditation. We have a chat with the people, and she said that in the beginning she had a continuous dialogue with herself. You know, she was making question and wait for answer. You know, and the answer was not an impulsive one. It was, you know, with a rational mind, explain the consequence. If I eat this, what it will happen. If I don't eat, what I will experience. And, you know, see what was the best for her, what she really wants, you know, not what, you know, just, I mean, that's how I interpreted what she was saying. And I think it's very beautiful to give yourself time, you know, even if you want to eat something, again, eating, you just stop and think, you know, you don't need to react right away. And most of the time, you know, in the beginning, I use it a lot. It was to go to bed, to sleep, and see in the morning, you know, wait the day. And in the mornings, if it still was this, you know, this desire so strong that I say, oh, you know, I want it out of my head, you know, so I will act on it, you know. But if it was gone, then it was just a try.
Just the thing in the moment where you wanted to eat it in the moment because you smelt it or you saw it or somebody else was eating it or indulging in it. So if you can just hold off until the morning and then decide.
Hold on. You
Hold
always,
on.
you always, even, sometimes you have it in front of your face and then you think you will never have a chance again. There is shop everywhere. You can buy what
It's not going to be gone. The pizza will be there. You can find the
no.
pizza store.
You will find it anywhere, anytime, what you decide about food. That's not an issue at all.
There's no shortage of food. Don't worry.
No.
Sab,
Yes.
I have to get my son from school, so I'm going to have to end our talk today. I've really enjoyed sharing time with you again. I always do, and I always like your positive messages and your introductions to other people in the lifestyle. I appreciate you. I appreciate your energy.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for sharing with my friends today.
Thank you for making it real, for see that, we're just normal people with, with this desire of pleasure and present in the name of prana, right?
In the name of prana. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So I see you again. We talk again soon. Okay.
Keep going and keep your wife happy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye.